All right, powers and exponents. This is 5 squared or 5 raised to the second power, right? 5 is our base, all right? The 2 is the exponent. So the power, if it's raised to the second power, that means the exponent is 2. The rule underneath there says any number except 0 raised to the 0 power is 1. So any number raised to the 0 power is 1. So 5 raised to the 0 power, 1. 100 raised to the 0 power, 1. 2 raised to the 0 power, 1. Alright. It just cannot be 0 being raised to the 0 power. Alright, the question says write the expression using exponents. That's what your homework's going to say today. So we write 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 using exponents. So 4 to the 7th power, because if you look, 4 is being times by itself 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 raised to the 7th power. Negative 8 times negative 8 times negative 8. Now since the negative is inside parentheses, we keep it inside parentheses, and the exponent is written to the outside. It is written like this. I will show you in the next slide or a slide after the difference, why it has to be inside parentheses. Alright, this is the slide Emery was talking about. Write these two down. Okay? We're going to solve both of them. Now, if you look at them, you would think the answer will be the same, but it will not be. We have negative 3 being raised to the second power, and we have negative 3 being raised to the second power. This one, the difference between this and this, is the negative is inside parentheses here. So it's written like negative 3 times negative 3. It's written like this, which what's negative 3 times negative 3? It's 9. A negative times a negative, same sign, always gives you positive. Now this one, this is negative 3 squared, but there's no parentheses. So really we could say this is minus 3 squared, not negative 3 squared. When we write that, the negative sign stays outside of it, and we do 3 times 3. So it'd be like minus whatever 3 squared is. Well, what is 3 times 3? 9 with a negative sign out in front. And does everyone see why it's important to have parentheses around the negative sign? Okay? So if it tells you put in a negative, make sure your negative sign is inside parentheses. If you leave it outside, okay, you get a different answer. It's kind of like this becomes a minus, okay, and then you do this operation. Okay? So are these equal to each other? No, this is positive, this is negative, they're complete opposites. Alright, so we rewrite this using exponents. This is y raised to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 power. What if there was a 4 times 4 right here? That's a 4, not a y.
Oh, never mind.
Okay, we would write that. Okay, we would do 4 times 4. Well, we'd raise 4 to the second power. Then we'd do y to the 8. Okay. I didn't put that in the home, or I didn't put that in the notes, but some people were asking about it second hour, so I figured I would add to it. Okay. So let's do k plus 2 times itself. So I write k plus 2. Remember to keep it inside parentheses. We don't know what k is, so we can't add to it. We just leave it as k plus 2, and it's raised to the third power. We call this cubed. Yeah. All right, write this down. This is the order operations. I know we've talked about this several times, but I want to go back over it because now we're adding exponents. So, order operations, grouping symbols, you do everything inside grouping symbols. Then you do exponents. Usually the exponents will be outside of grouping symbols. Then you multiply and divide left to right, and then you add and subtract left to right. All right, write this down. X. He says evaluate x squared plus y cubed if x is 6 and y is -2. So all you do is plug in 6 for x and -2 for y. So 6 squared plus y cubed. Remember, y is -2, so I want to write in the negative inside the parentheses. If I was to write it outside parentheses, well, you still get the same thing because this is to an odd power. But if it was an even power, it would make a difference. So make sure you always write inside parentheses. 6 squared. Someone raise your hand. Tell me what 6 squared is. Someone raise your hand. Mackenzie. 36. 6 times 6, 36. She did too. Braden, what is -2 cubed? Alright, what is -2 times -2, Braden?
-4.
No. Negative times negative. It's +4. What's +4 times -2?
-8.
Thank
I
you.
knew it was 8.
36 minus 8 is 28. There's my answer. B is -2. They give us the expression 10 plus b squared. So 10 plus -2 squared. Alright, now I'm going to do it the right way first. -2 times -2 is +4. 10 plus 4 is 14. Okay? Now, if I had done it wrong, 10 plus -2 squared, okay, this does not give me the same thing. Okay? Because what is 2 times 2? 4. What is 10 minus 4? 6. So if you had done it wrong, you would have got 6. Okay? But 6 is not the answer because it's not how it's done. Okay? Only 14 is the right answer. So tomorrow, if you're getting them all wrong, look, am I putting the negative number inside parentheses? Here's your homework.